Can hear you.
Oh, good. All right. God, fun service this morning. Great inspirational talk there, Bill. I I love that whole thing of realizing that the darkness is all part of the plan. Uh, Tide comes in, the tide goes out. Flowers bloom, the flowers die, and sometimes we get kind of all hung up on, oh my God, things are ending. Well, yeah, stuff ends. Um, So the title talk, the power of wow, which is just like Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, only slightly better. And I've got to call into Eckhart. I told him I would co-write the book with him. Hasn't returned my call yet. Hopefully he will. Let me talk a little bit about what I'm really saying when I say the power of wow. And here's the definitions I'm going to use when I talk about that. Wow is the expression of astonishment or admiration, and power is the inner strength that does not depend on outward things, which Unity talks a lot about that. When we pray, we affirm that something already exists, even though there may not be an appearance that supports that particular prayer. And I was, downloading a couple quotes that I could use in the talk this morning, and I found this in my printer stack of paper, and I had printed this out about a year and a half ago, and it's a poem that was written by Janice Lamont, and I just want to read it to you now because it perfectly illustrates the experience of the power of wow. It's called The Joy of Being Human. The joy of being human, with all my senses perking, seeing beauty, listening to her song, the fragrance of her natural perfume, and the aroma of her food. My hands reach out and touch soft yellow flower petals, trees vibrant with joy, sage on both sides of me in the hot sun. Drink the cool water, taste the sweet apple. I evoke the image of God through my God-given senses. I just love that. Drink the cool water, taste the sweet apple, and invoke the image of God through my God-given senses. And that's what I'm hoping for with this talk, is that we will drink the cool water and taste the sweet apple. That if there, I affirm that this will be some sort of spiritual vitamin that will nourish you. When I was mulling this topic over, I realized that I had in my midst an amazing expert on the power of wow. And that expert is my good friend, Patches, who I call him a Buddha in a dog suit. He's about a foot and a half tall, walks on all four legs, and is covered with fur, and also does not speak English. But he's an expert on wow. I was talking to Chuck the other day about wow, and I said, I need a wow. How can I? And he said, the wonder of the world of wonder. So you can use that one when you think of wow. Anyway, Pat's amazing dog. They say they're bred. Cocker spaniels are bred for love and affection, and this dog is got love in spades. And one of the things that Patches understands and demonstrates is he gets off the leash sometimes. And when he does, he is just running everywhere, running up on the rocks, smelling other dogs, running out into the ocean, eating unknown food items off the sand. I mean, he's just living life fully. And I found this beautiful quote by Mark Twain. I want to share it with you about getting off the leash. And Mark says, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Now, Patches has that down. When he's off the leash, he is exploring, discovering everything. Dogs, they have like 3,000 times better nose smell than we do. He's smelling everything. He's everywhere. He's loving life completely. So there you go. That's the first teaching, portal to the world of wow from Patches. Get off the leash sometimes. Another wonderful teaching that I've noticed that Patches exemplifies is keep your eye on the ball. Patches, when you play ball with Patches, he's on that ball. That ball is the most important thing in the universe. Don't throw that ball. We're doing the ball thing. It's like, let's do it. And it's often, Eckhart Tolle talks about being in the moment, being in the now, focusing your energy in the present moment. And that's one thing that Patches does amazingly well. Musicians learn how to do that at an early age. I started guitar lessons when I was 9. And the thing about learning an instrument is you need to be there in time with those notes. And they have to happen in a certain order, in a certain timing. And so you have to focus your energy and allow that experience to encompass your consciousness. I had a guitar teacher once. She was explaining the difference between note players and musicians. And she said, musicians get laid on every note. Every note becomes the most important note. And that's a nice metaphor for us as humans. Every being, every now, every experience that we have in the present moment, because that's all we ever get, by the way. We all know that, right? We all live in the now totally all the time. Right now, endow that moment with your consciousness. Anyway, that's a portal to the experience of wow. Here's another teaching. Some of this was inspired by a book written by Alan Cohen called Are You As Happy As Your Dog? Which is a great little book. It takes about 10 minutes to read, a lot of cartoons, beautiful book. And here's one thing that Patches has down, which is dig where the bones are. Dig where the real bones are. And bones being a metaphor for the things that bring you bliss. I was hunting around for something about, I don't know, probably some of you have read a book called Let Joy Be Your Compass. Joseph Campbell was always talking about follow your bliss. So here's a little quote from Joseph Campbell, who kind of started this whole movement of following your bliss. Or, as Patches likes to say, dig where the real bones are. Real bones, things that bring you real joy, deep happiness. The way to find out about your happiness is to keep your mind on those moments when you feel most happy. When you really are happy, not excited, not just thrilled, but deeply happy. This requires a little bit of self-analysis. What is it that makes you happy? Stay with it. Stay with it, no matter what people tell you. This is what I call following your bliss. Reminds me, when I was growing up, my dad wanted me to be a dentist. And he said, this is a logical thing to do. You'll make a lot of money and prestige, status, and your life will be good. And I was like, Dad, I like singing and playing guitar. Is that a good thing? No, son, you should be a dentist. Well, I never did become a dentist. I did become an RN, which was a moment of I need to get a job that pays regularly. And but following my bliss would be singing. I sing every single day and play guitar every day, and that brings me joy, and I follow that. And sometimes, you think about doing it, but that's not the same as doing it. I think I've mentioned the quote from Alan Watts, which is, the menu is not the meal. You can think about going in nature. You can think about painting that painting you wanted to do, or writing that poem, or going on that trip, or hugging a tree, or looking in someone's eyes with love. Not the same as doing it. The fifth principle in unity is action is required. The menu is not the meal. So, Patches is fabulous at digging where the real bones are. I want to encourage you to find out what makes you happy and do a lot of it, because that is a portal to the wow, and you will discover the power of wow. Another thing that Patches is fabulous at, and this dog is truly a master of this particular technique, which is love someone. Love someone. The Dalai Lama says, love is wanting others to be happy. Love someone. I found, there's another great quote. I think this is Abraham Hicks. She says, we are all love looking for a place to happen. And the thing about it is, you don't have to wait around. Patches does not wait around for me to go, hey, Patches, I love you. When I walk in, first of all, when I'm on the way to visit Patches, he smells me. He smells me like 50 feet away, and he's waiting at the door. And when I get there, it's like, he's not saying, do you love me, Rich? No, he's like, I love you. You are my guy. And I go over and sit on the couch. Patches is up there. He's got his nose under my armpit, smelling me, loving me, looking at me lovingly with those gorgeous dog eyes. And man, we are all looking for we are all love looking for a place to happen. And we can happen. We don't even have to look for a place for it to happen. We can make it happen. Patches just makes it happen. I can't not love that dog. The dog is so expressive of its love for me that I'm overwhelmed. Even if I'm like, well, I don't know if I love, I am like, oh my God, this dog has opened his heart to me and is giving me every possible ounce of energy and admiration. What did I say? Wow, an exclamation of admiration. Well, he's got that in spades. When I was working at an improv theater for many years, one of the things that we teach is when you're on stage with another actor, treat them as if they are a poet and a genius. That's an expression of admiration. And what happens is it changes the atmosphere. All of a sudden, you're saying intelligent things. You are also a genius and a poet. We can endow each other with admiration and respect. And Dalai Lama, love is wanting others to be happy. To say, yes, you're it. You're it for me. That's one thing Patches is a genius at. And love that dog. And let's see. Oh, here's another great quote from Abraham Hicks, a wonderful teacher. It's called I call this allowing wow. If you knew your potential to feel good, you would ask no one to be different so that you can feel good. You would free yourself of all that cumbersome impossibility of needing to control the world or control your mate or control your child. You are the only one who creates your reality. For no one else can think for you. No one else can do it. It is only you. Every bit of it is you. Love that quote. Now, I have invited a special guest to help me with my talk today, and coming up in just a moment, I'm going to talk. This is my last little bit about portals to the WOW experience, and actually, this comes from Patches. He hasn't said it in English, but he demonstrates it. It's called Sing Even If You Don't Know the Words. And so many times we get caught up in labeling things, in understanding. You know, I heard someone say, people think understanding means overstanding. I mean, you look over it and all of a sudden you get everything. Well, quite often we don't. Quite often we're just existing without any mental picture or a process of understanding. You know, we understand. We stand under things. We stand under the clouds. I don't understand clouds. I look up at clouds. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? It's just like this incredible, this plume of art floating in the sky. It's a miracle. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know what I don't know that much between a cumulonimbus and a stratus. I mean, I can describe it, but what's really going on up there? Look, it's just this incredible art show for us every single day. We stand under things. We don't get to overstand things. And so the one thing, and this is the last thought I'll leave with you before I bring on our special guest to close out this talk about the power of WOW. And the last thing that I'm going to say it one more time. Sing even if you don't know the words. You know, have you ever been looking in someone's eyes and you're feeling love for them and you want to say something because it's sort of uncomfortable? It's like, oh my God, we're having this love moment. I love you. You're beautiful. You're perfect. You know, you want to say something. You want to illustrate it with your words and your thoughts. Not required. Not really required. You can just be in that moment and experience. Wow. So I'd like to thank you for listening to my talk. I hope to see you this afternoon. We're going to be having a wonderfully beautiful time, sacred time out at the garden. Weather looks like it's going to be good. Like I said, the duo that follows Janice and I singing, which we have a couple new songs that we're very excited about sharing. There's some sing-along opportunities. You get to see other people in their three-dimensionality, which is great. Real people, fantastic. Anyway, I'd like to bring on our final a guest that's going to do probably a better job of expressing wow. You'll go ahead and play that for us, LaDawn. I'll hope to see you this afternoon.
I am you and you are me, and where you are I can be, and I am here and you are there. The magic is that we're a pair of entities that transcend. We're connected to the end of time. To the end of time. To the end of time. To the end of time.
Okay, thank you, Rich.